Time for sound design. Today with the Korg MicroKorg synthesizer, I have created a ambient soundscape with this synthesizer and I will now go to Ableton to deconstruct it. So this is the session of the soundscape in Ableton. It has 9 different layers and I used 5 different sounds from the MicroKorg that I designed myself. So I didn't use any of the presets of the MicroKorg, and they're all color coded. So you see there the first 4 layers is one patch, then it goes to the purple one, yellow, the sort of salmon color, and then the blue one. So let's start with the first patch and the first 4 layers of this soundscape. So the patch that I designed on the MicroKorg sounds like this. So as you can hear, there's a lot of noise in this patch intentionally. And it's a very sort of subdued sound. So what I recorded on the first layer is an F with a bit of delay. On the second layer I recorded a C. And here I have a LFO that modulates the gain, so basically volume automation of this track. And as you can see, I cut up the notes in different pieces to make sure that they don't start and stop at the same point. So the F and the C together sound like this. And then on the third layer I recorded an A. And also I did some copy and pasting, chopping it up to make sure that the start and the end point of the notes is not at the same point. And then on the fourth layer I made a copy of the C note and then reversed it with a tremolo on top. And playing all the first 4 layers together, it sounds like this. So as you can hear at the beginning of the note, you hear this little attack, a little click. I think that's kind of a character of the sound, so I kept it. But what I did is that I cut for the second and the third layer, I cut it up so to make sure that it doesn't start exactly the note at the same point. And in my previous video, when I talked about working with audio, this is another good example where I just record a few notes and then in Ableton chop it up and work with the audio to create something interesting. So as you can see here on the second and the third layer, there is some variation going on basically by using the audio. So those 3 notes are a chord, and that really forms the basis of this whole soundscape. So you hear it throughout the soundscape, but I sometimes mute stuff, and here towards the end the C is muted and later also the A. By having all these notes on separate tracks, you can later decide what part of the chord you actually hear, and there's more flexibility basically. Then for the second sound, I designed this patch on the MicroKorg. So again, a very simple sound, very clear, a little bit of noise there as well. So a little bit, you can bring in the mixer section noise, so I do that, but maybe like 3 or something, like a very little. And then in Ableton, what I did is I recorded a few notes, but I completely cut it up. So it sounds like this. So this one is reversed. So it's 2 notes and then reversed. So it's a C as well. And then later on, I repeat that, but then there's some variation here. But then what I put here on top is, apart from the low cut, EQ. What I did, I used the filter delay and then preset complex 5. And with that delay, it sounds like this. It's a very long delay. So this delay really makes these a few little notes into an atmospheric thing. So when I play it together with the first 4 layers, it sounds like this. And also because this filter delay is basically 3 separate sections. You have the left plus right, and then the left and the right, and they have different settings. So that's why you get a very wide stereo image. Alright, going to sound number 3, I created this patch on the MicroKorg. And under the mod wheel I have the filter cutoff, so I can filter the sound. So it is the arpeggio enabled. Then what I recorded is this. But then what I did to it is that I stretched it. So in the beginning you hear, 10 notes in a little bit over half a bar. And then the last 3 I stretched, and then the last 4, they are really compressed here in the end. So that sounds like this. But then what I did is I altered the transient settings here. So I put it very low. So basically you only hear the attack of the sound. And then on top of that, I did quite aggressive EQ and some delay. So you get this really textural bit. And then later on in the soundscape, I only use the first part. 1 note and then the 3 at the end. So it's a very subtle texture, but it really adds a little bit of detail to the beat, to the soundscape. For sound number 4, I designed this on the MicroKorg. So it's basically a bass sound, very kind of dense. But what I did in Ableton is that I recorded this bass sound with a very high low cutoff. So at 2 kilohertz, everything below 2 kilohertz is left out. So basically you only hear the top end. So without any of the other effects, it sounds like this. So it's like a high sizzling kind of sound. Then I added reverb, a tremolo and an auto pan to create more stereo image. So again, a very subtle layer. But now that you've heard it, you can kind of recognize it, that there's something sizzling in the top end of the track. And then for the last 2 layers, I used the 5th sound that I designed on the MicroKorg, and it is this kind of noisy texture. So under the mod wheel, when the mod wheel is closed or in the down position, there's noise again. And then as you open it, you remove the noise. Sounds very lo-fi kind of. And then in Ableton, what I did, initially I recorded this. So I just played this, probably with a metronome on, but I still corrected the timing with these markers here, as you see. And then in terms of effects, there's only a low cut EQ on this. So together with all the other layers, it sounds like this. So it's in the latter part of the soundscape. But I thought it was a bit too simple, and you can recognize the thing that I play a bit too well. In order to not add another sound, but to work with this sound that I have, I decided to copy it and kind of chop it up on a second layer underneath. So let me show you that. So here on layer 9, it's a copy of track 8, but I changed the timing so it starts later, and also some parts are reversed. Like this part is reversed, but this one is forward. Then it's forward again and reversed. And because of the offset together with the original recording, it sounds like this. Oh yeah, and the original is panned to the left and the copy is panned to the right to create also more stereo spread. So now they really work together and they kind of interact with each other. And it's just done by a simple offset of quarter note and an eighth note, so 3/8. So that's it for this video. I use the MicroKorg from Korg to create a soundscape with only this synthesizer and some sound design in Ableton, as you can see. This little classic synthesizer, an analog modeling synthesizer, is very versatile. You can very easily create sounds. It's not the most intuitive at the start because you have to use this matrix to find the parameters, but once you get sort of into it, it's actually faster than what it looks like from the outset. With that, I will play the entire soundscape now for you to hear. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Let me know how you use hardware synthesizers or the MicroKorg. I'll see you in the next one.